Well, we made it. It's November 5th. We made it through election season. Congratulations, guys. And I want to just reminisce about some of the insane historical events that had happened. I feel like my whole mind went blank of what has happened the last 4 months. Like it was all a fever dream. So please feel free to jot my memory down or jog my memory in the comments with anything I might have forgotten. And I also want to shout out to Joe Mama in the comments. This shirt's for you. Another quick sidebar. If the background and the setup looks different, it's because it's winter time. During the winter, my plants start dying and I need to set up a grow setup for them. So I have a bunch of lights over here that'll help them through the day. These are the plants that aren't doing well, that I can't keep in the window because of winter. And it's going to look different. I have to repot everybody, combine some, but yeah. So sorry if the background... I don't want to talk about it. All right. Now, some of these events were longer than like this past year, but they still like come into play with what's going on. Like, do you guys remember when they banned Trump from Twitter? Like the leader of a country, like a president? Wild. And then we all saw the debate with Joe and Biden, which Biden was having issues talking, making sentences, which at that point, Biden had to step down. Joe Biden stepped down from running for president, which has never happened in history and ever in America.
We're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there.
So then the Democrats needed someone to run for president. They needed someone to fill Joe Biden's spot. And this is where Kamala comes into place. Placed. Well, she was placed in. She wasn't nominated. She was appointed. All the funds from the campaign funds were tied to her, like millions. I don't know. It was like so much money. So they had to like go with the VP. No one voted for her. She wasn't nominated. She was selected. Now, this isn't going to be a perfect timeline. I'm going to jump around the place. I'm going to try to keep it, but it's just like my mind's all over the place. So then Kamala started lying about working at McDonald's and lying about her race and heritage.
So they were a family of wealthy Irish slave traders. But now let's go back to that photo again. Who is this with Kamala Harris that is wrongly assumed to be her grandmother?
Trump decided to troll Kamala by working at McDonald's for like 15 minutes.
I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again. Thank you. Look at that.
Mr.
Look at that. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you.
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so much
You
for
are not
everything you're
ordinary.
doing.
I can see.
We pray for you.
And it was great. It was historical. Everyone was there because we do a little trolling. We do a little trolling.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
It took Harris over a month to come up with any policies, to say any policies, to have any policies on her website. And it took her over a month to have any sort of interview. And they're not long interviews. She only has really short ones. And she says the same thing in each interview. She says, I come from a middle class family. And it's like, no, you don't, because you had a nanny and a maid. And you went to a university. We don't have nannies. We don't have maids. And allegedly, she's trying to pass her maid off as a grandma because she might not even be black.
Recent polls in Michigan show that Michigan voters believe that Donald Trump would do a better job with handling the economy and bringing jobs back. What do you say to that?
Well, let's start with this. I come from the middle class, and I'll never forget where I come from.
While all this is going on, Trump is going on a million interviews, and he talks for hours, and he's doing more than one a day. We were all shocked when he was on Theo Vaughn and got 15 million views. He went on Joe Rogan. We're at like probably 42 million now, and it's only been up for a few days. I don't even think it's been a full week yet.
Good to see you, sir. There we go.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I just checked Joe Rogan to see how many views Trump got, and he just had JD Vance on an hour ago, and it almost has 1 million with the vice president, JD Vance. That is insane. Oh my God, I can't wait to watch that. Oh my goodness. JD Vance does great interviews too, because he's just like a regular dude. Like, he understands stuff, has common sense. At which point Kamala turned down Joe Rogan because she can't talk without people in her ears. She can't talk without, giving questions to the interviewer. She can't talk for 3 hours. She can't go to him. She wanted him to go to her for only an hour. And he's like, no, my podcast is you come to me, you come on my podcast for 3 hours like Trump did. Kamala has been hackled at. She's been booed at. She's had a lot of protesters at her rallies because like all the Palestine protesters are always yelling at her. And it's kind of sad to see. But I mean, like, this is what you get.
We are fighting for America's future. And we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear.
Trump has been so loved this election. I mean, we all have loved him for all the elections, but we have people switching sides because people are done with this woke identity politics crap. People are waking up. And with that, not just one, but 2 attempted assassinations have happened on Donald Trump's life to take his life.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
This hasn't happened since the 80s. Like this is historical. And this is exactly what happens when a president runs for the people, the left, the government, the media gets mad. They label him Hitler. They call us Nazis, homophobic, racist, etc. All the words you can think of. Even though everything they say has always been debunked. He loves his country. He loves his people. Not to mention how sketcy the whole shooting was, and like that little boy, and they couldn't get into his phone, and his whole house was scrubbed. Weird. I really want to watch JD Vance on Joe Rogan. Now I don't feel like filming. I'm just kidding. Okay. The next one on my list is Elon Musk ends up buying Twitter, endorsing Trump, and unbanning him from Twitter.
As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
And then a lot of Dems start joining Trump's side, like Tulsi, like RFK Jr. RFK Jr. decided to drop out because it's only going to hurt Trump and decided to join Trump. Now, make America healthy again. Hell yeah. Kamala claims that she's bringing in a new generation of like politicians. No, she's not. Trump is. Look at all these politicians that are backing him. Imagine if you had to choose between RFK Jr. and JD Vance for 2028. Like, that will be such a hard decision. I mean, that would be an amazing problem to have. Should I pick this good president or this good president? I don't know. No matter what, you win. No matter what, we have a good president, and that's how it should be. We need to get rid of the Obama administration already. All right, this is what my grow light setup looks like when I'm not filming. I took everything down, but I just watched a clip of Joe Rogan explain how Trump is such a good businessman that he's delegating and getting on these people that are good, and it's like getting Elon Musk for space or whatever, and then getting RFK for health, and because we've been fucked over by the health, and like just he's been finding everyone that's good at, and that's why he has such a great team and such a good generation being built of like all these like smart people, and he's delegating where everyone goes. Like, he's not an expert at every little individual thing, but he's gonna find the expert and place them in those settings. And I almost forgot, they went after their political opponent with the judicial system and turned him into a felon. And that's exactly why convicted felons can still run for president, because our founding fathers knew that there's some crooked ass men out there or people out there that will do this to a country and try to turn it into a third world country. And they would try to, play these games and stuff. So now all these charges might just get dropped completely because the judge sees what they're doing. You can't go after your political opponent like this. So it was just a big waste of time and a big waste of money. I don't want to forget that the Democrats had their DNC, at which they had vans parked outside giving away free abortions. I don't know if that's ever been done in history. I would hope not. I hope that's the first. I keep thinking about other stuff as I'm washing dishes. So, not to mention, a historical moment happened that now men can compete in women's sports. Isn't that fun? Isn't that cute and fresh?
1 second might not sound like a lot of time, but in the sport of swimming, again measured down to the 100th of a second, 1 second is significant. He beat the entire nation of women by almost 2 full seconds. Even the time he went last year would have beat every girl in the country this past season by nearly 2 full seconds, making him the first man to win a Division I NCAA women's title. Trailblazer.
When Kamala got appointed, I was going to say nominated, when Kamala got placed in her spot, maybe it was like 3 months ago, I'm not sure how long ago, the libtards like started running with this like coconut like campaign where they kept putting coconuts everywhere in comments and making coconuts, like, but it's funny because like it fizzled. I think they stopped doing it. It fizzled out. I think they just got like too embarrassed. I think they realized it was like you're not running on you're running on an emoji. Now, when Trump got his second attempted assassination happen, that same day, news broke that P. Diddy is an Epstein and he's a bad, and his parties are bad, and he's a diddler. And like all that came out the same day, at which all of P. Diddy's friends ran to Kamala's side to endorse Kamala. Like it's weird, like there's something going on, like why? And there's rumors that Kamala might have been at allegedly P. Diddy parties too. And he's close friends with Obama, just saying. I don't know why all these celebrities all of a sudden are endorsing Kamala.
I am a mother, I am a sister, I am an actor and an entertainer, and I like Hollywood endings.
Also, the government always has a hurricane funding every year, like a big amount, because hurricane seasons happen every year. So there was huge hurricanes that just passed, and all of a sudden there's no funding for it. And I wonder why. It all went to the illegals. Should we even talk about illegals in this one? I don't even think I have it on the list. Okay, so they say at the least amount, 6 million illegals have came over. No. It's more like, I always say 10 million, but it's probably more like 25 million. And they're having babies. 25 million. That's colonization. That's slavery. Also because they want you all to have like, oh, this is going way off topic. They want everyone to have abortions in America, but then they're like, oh, we don't have enough population. So let's bring over all these illegals and have them have babies. That's like some Handmaid's Tale shit. Like you have slaves you're bringing in to have babies. Like that's colonization, slavery. I don't know. That's just some weird shit. Where was I going with this? I wasn't supposed to I was talking about hurricanes. It was the biggest hurricanes another historical theme. Milton and Helene were the biggest hurricanes we've had in a long time, historical. And there was no funding. Not only did they have no funding, they couldn't go get them. They didn't have money to put in the helicopters to go rescue people. We've also had a lot of good sound bites this year. So when Trump and Harris had their debate, we got Trump saying they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, because there are Haitian immigrants, illegals. They are still illegals even if they did the app. They didn't come over here the right way. But they're eating the dogs and eating the cats in Ohio. And then everyone's saying, that's not true. They're only eating the geese and the ducks at the parks and people's farm animals. Okay, so you think that's okay? You think that's American? You think that's Western civilization?
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
And then everyone in that town, they don't go to the stores anymore because all the Haitians go to the stores and they try everything in the stores and then they just like put it back on the shelves. So everyone that lives in that town has to go to another town to go grocery shopping. And I have no problem with immigration. Obviously, if you come over the right way, that's why it's important for you to come over and learn the Western culture. And when you go through the steps of doing it the right way, you have to learn so much. Like, they know more than us Americans. Like, they have to learn all the history, but you have pride that you came here, that you did it, and you have pride for the culture. Yeah, you can bring your culture, but you can also celebrate Halloween and Christmas with us. And you learn how to walk on the sidewalk the correct way. You learn how to drive the correct way. You learn our culture here, and you can bring some of your culture here too. And that's another thing, is these Haitians, they don't know how to drive in their country, and they're just giving them driver's license. But since they're not like Americans, they can't be arrested or penalized for anything, so they're driving around crazy. So everyone in that town, their auto insurance has doubled. Can you imagine? And then I would be too scared to drive. Okay, I don't know where that rant came from. That wasn't on the list, but okay. So Trump recently, he had a rally at the Madison Square Garden, and it was the biggest I didn't write it down. I have blank spots. Every seat was filled, and then I was supposed to write down the number. So if anyone could put in the comments, if you care, how many people were inside and how many people were outside. It was monumental. It was historical. And of course, the libs had a cope, and they said it was like a Hitler rally, and then we were all Nazis. They called it a Hitler rally because apparently Hitler back in the 30s or something had a rally there, but it's like, oh, no one else has played there before? Like, I think like Bush or Clinton had something there before. There's baseball games. So everybody who's ever had a concert there, you're Hitler now. You're a Nazi. This list has been so hard to put together because shit keeps happening. Like historical events keep happening since we're so close to the election. So some of this, I might have to add more while I'm editing this because like Joe Biden, the president of the United States, decided to call old Trump supporters garbage.
Donald Trump's latest stunt pokes fun at Kamala Harris and Joe Biden as he poses with a garbage truck.
For Joe Biden to make that statement, it's really a disgrace.
In retaliation to comments made by Joe Biden, Trump rode a MAGA garbage truck to his rally in Wisconsin on Wednesday. Biden had previously described the people that vote for Trump as garbage, saying, "The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters." The 78-year-old presidential candidate wore an orange workman's jacket to add emphasis to his so-called role. Wisconsin is one of the 7 states which will decide the election, making candidates attempt any head-turning stunt to make them get their votes.
250 million Americans are not garbage.
It reminds me of when Dolly Parton said, well, that's what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be trash. Call me trash. So that's pretty historical. The president of the United States called half of America, which is like 150 million, 200 million people garbage. I think we're definitely having a culture switch finally, and a lot of people have came out, a lot of celebrities have came out and endorsed Trump. Buzz Aldrin came out and he endorsed Trump, and that's a big deal because Buzz has never endorsed any president in his lifetime. I think he sides a lot with Elon Musk and what he's doing in space and all, but that's pretty neat. It's also the first time in history the Washington Post, the most liberal magazine ever, has not endorsed a president because they won't endorse Kamala. They also just had Halloween at the White House, and Joe Biden walked out with a panda. A panda. Well, pandas don't give me Halloween vibes. When I think of pandas, I think of P. Diddy, Epstein. And then, like, he was handing out candy to everybody, so all these women kept coming up with babies. And tell me why Joe Biden kept putting every baby in his mouth. I guess that's all I got. Let's just hope that this election is going to be ran fair. I know there has been a lot of fires, people setting fires to ballot boxes. You know, that's no conservative. There's no one on the right doing that. Well, if you like this one, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to be homies, and I guess I'll see you on the other side. Boy, 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 boy.